Reality. Reality receipts.
Hi guys, welcome back to the Reality Receipts podcast starring me, Storytime with Ricky.
And me, Reality Ashley, and we literally just watched Love Island USA episode 27. It just finished. We hopped on here immediately because we got so much to say. I felt like this was such a redemption for Shelly and Alandria, but what were your thoughts? I mean, we can get into the end, but like
we'll get into the nitty gritty of it all, but I just think that every episode, like, opinions can change so fast. And I think that's why, like, I know that producers try to have this like really dramatic episode right before a vote. And sometimes that could really mess things up for the audience because, like you said, I haven't been on social media to see the response to tonight's episode yet because it literally just ended, but I would assume there's nothing more you can do but move on from this whole mean girl
yeah.
thing. You know what I mean? Like, you've seen them apologize, you see them take accountability, and I think that's why it's dangerous to put a vote like that. That could have really rocked the house if Sierra, Shelly, and Alandria were in that bottom three because only one person could get saved. But we got Austin out. We got Austin out.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. He is finally gone. I know to a lot of people, they were like, Austin doesn't bother them. He's funny. He just, for me, was not giving anything to the house, to the villa, to the girls he was with.
Well, then after he was rude to Amaya, I was like, pack your bags, goodbye, get on, see you later.
Yeah, exactly. I know they were like, we have bigger fish to fry, but Austin, to me, just from the beginning, hasn't given anything. I don't enjoy watching him. He creeps me out. He talks slow. So I was glad Amaya was gone. I mean, Amaya, I was glad Austin was gone, but also thoroughly confused how Zach with the K was not in the bottom.
Yeah, that was weird. Maybe people think him and Alandria might have a thing, so maybe that was why. I don't know. But yeah, going back to like, well, should we start? Okay, we'll start at the start of the episode.
Let's start at the top.
The episode started with Huda stomping around and having a bit of a pout session, which I understand why she was a little upset. And I do feel like if people had just called, you know, Shelly and Alandria out a little bit on social media of like, that wasn't cool, or like, I didn't agree with this, that's fine. But it was the way everyone was like calling them mean girls from this one interaction and following them, apparently like thousands of people and following. And it was like, that's a bit dramatic after we saw like 10 days of Huda's crazy behavior. And, you know, they're finally having a bit of a response, which is okay if you don't agree with. But I just think the reaction was a little bit much. So,
yeah. What did you think you were sitting there pouting while all the girls are having a discussion?
It didn't surprise me. I feel like that's exactly what we've been talking about when we say these girls are a little bit fed up with her and the behavior. It's very, like Hannah described it, me, right? Like she was just thinking about herself. And if she was upset about what happened, that's understandable. But I think people have been through worse and dealt with worse in this villa, and they don't really treat other people that way when they're upset, right? It's like Amaya tried to comfort her and she was rude to Amaya, and it was like, she's just trying to see if you're okay. So that, I just think Huda can't help but be that way. That's just her personality. So she was upset. So
I was wondering like, oh, is she required to sit here and have a discussion with the girls? Because if you are required, okay, but if you're not, like, you can just not be here. You don't have to sit here and purposely distance yourself and purposely outcast yourself. And for me, just like how the next morning she went and ate breakfast in the speakeasy by herself, it's like you're purposely isolating yourself, and then her fans will literally be like, look at Daryl, she's eating lunch in the bathroom by herself. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she's Katie here, and look, they're mean
But
you know, like, and it's like she's kind of doing it to herself. I thought it was dramatic. Again, I just like, you know, Shelly told her, I'm upset. I don't want to talk to anyone right now. Why is it okay for Huda to say, hey, I don't want to speak to anyone right now? It's
yeah.
valid. You need time to process your feelings. But when Shelly did it, the internet was in an uproar. Like,
I know, right? Yeah, and I mean, she wasn't like just taking some time to herself and kind of away. She was like padding through in her slippers loudly and slamming drawers and like, you know, she wanted everyone to know she was mad, which again, that's her right to her feelings, but she does handle them in an interesting way because I don't feel like anything that bad happened, you know? Like she when she said later when she had that chat with Alandria, she said everyone was yelling at me and I don't remember everyone yelling at her. When did that happen? I didn't think that happened at all.
yeah. I don't know. I
No, I
guess
never felt
she
like anyone but maybe Shelly and Alandria came for her. Like Alandria said you kissed Chris, and everyone went attacked Landria, like Chris, and everyone was like, "That was wrong. That wasn't your business." I don't remember anyone ever being like, "Oh, Hoda, you kissed him," and like all mad at her. I don't think
yeah,
that
no.
happened. So
Yeah, you're
again,
right.
twisting the reality because I don't think there was a moment where everyone was ganging up on Hoda at all throughout that whole thing. I think Shelly and Alandria, yes, did come for her a bit, but no one was like sitting there backing them up or coming for her. So I don't know
Yeah.
what she meant by that
Yeah,
because
I have to go back and rewatch it because I think a lot of discourse online was that they ganged up on her. And I'm
yeah,
like, just because, I don't know, just because you
yeah,
speak
I
to
just don't
someone at the
remember
same
that.
time doesn't mean that it's a gang up. Like to me, Olandria is speaking for Shelly with this whole Chris thing, and it's getting
Mm,
very misconstrued. I think that when we seen Huda sit down with Shelly, it was very clear that Shelly was upset about Ace. And that's what
yeah.
I've been saying this whole time. Like, why is everyone turning against Shelly? Shelly is not telling her not to explore Chris. Like,
Yeah.
where are people getting that from? Like, it was like I made a video earlier and I didn't even post it because I was just ranting because I
Yeah.
was like, where are people getting this? Like, I get it, they're getting it from Alandria, but like, Shelly is not telling Huda not to explore Chris. She is not
No.
telling Chris not to explore Huda. Her main thing was Ace and the
Yeah.
challenge, and it wasn't even the kiss in the challenge. People keep saying, "Oh,
No.
like you don't want her to kiss Ace, but you were kissing Chris." I'm like, it wasn't the kiss. It was the putting your ass in Cooter Cat in his face, allegedly. And the
Yeah.
only issue Shelly had with Chris was that he said he's going to come back and explore her, and he didn't. Not
Mm,
that he was exploring Huda. I really
yeah.
don't know where that narrative came from, but I
Yeah.
hope it was cleared up tonight. I feel like it was.
I think it was like Shelly made a point to say, which is what we've been suspecting the last few days, is that Shelly was annoyed that Huda keeps presenting it like, I'm bringing Chris back for you. I'm not into him. I'm bringing him back for you. Like making it some big selfless thing. But it's like, obviously, she's interested in exploring him. So
Yeah.
I don't think Shelly never thought she was. It was more just, I think, the way that Huda was presenting it. And I think they're just tired of the misconstruing or like
Yeah.
lying and not being honest about your intentions. That's all. I
Yeah.
think I
But I
do agree, like
feel
Shelly
like
should,
in the conversation before Casa, though, I do feel like Huda made her intentions clear. She did
yeah,
say, I find him attractive and I want to explore him as well. So that's what makes me wonder, like, was there another conversation had where she specifically told Shelly, it's just for you, it's only for
yeah,
you? Because I feel like even on the dock when we seen them talking today, it was still reiterated the same
hmm
way that it was reiterated back in Casa. I told you I
yeah,
wanted to explore him. I told you I was attracted to him. And then it seemed like Shelly was able to receive it better this time, but she
hmm
essentially said the same thing. That's what I'm confused about. It's like
yeah,
there had to be another conversation we didn't hear where Huda was like, "It's just for you, girl. I don't want that man." That's
yeah.
the only
That's
thing that would make sense. But then the conversation we saw, she didn't say that. So that's
no, yeah. I don't get like what the problem is with the Shelly Chris. Like I don't understand what. Like I don't feel like she's ever come across as really mad about Chris. Though, like you said, it was about Ace, and I think it's all getting mixed up, and Olandria is not helping because I think she's trying to help, but she's not relaying it very well. So
She's not helping because I've ever heard Shelly say to Alandria, like, why is Chris exploring Huda? That's weird. Like,
no,
I haven't
yeah,
heard
we've never seen a
that.
conversation with Shelly and Olandria where this is coming up. We did see a conversation with them tonight, and it was not about that at all. So I don't know where this is going.
And so I can see from Huda's standpoint, like, well, if Olandria is telling me this, it must be because Shelly confided in her and told her something about me and Chris. But it's like, Olandria,
Yeah.
what the f- are you talking about? Like, that's my girl. I think Taylor didn't drove her crazy, but I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what
Yeah,
are you
it's
talking about? Because Shelly hasn't said a single thing. And I don't know why people are like, Shelly just wants both. She wants Chris and Ace. Like, you can't, like, two men aren't off limits. Like, that's not fair. And I'm like, she
yeah.
never said I can't explore Chris. Olandria, shush. Like,
Yeah, there's feels like there's something we're missing here because we're watching all the conversations and they're all adding up. So we're like, what's happening? What's Olandria getting this from? Because I don't get it. Is she? Yeah, it's not making sense.
it's
I
the
thought it was in.
assumption that she's getting it from Shelly and relaying it on her behalf. And it's like,
Mhm.
I don't think she is. I think she has a certain perspective of it and is making it Shelly's perspective, and Shelly's taking the heat for it.
Yeah, yeah. Like the only thing I can think of is that Shelly was going to pick Chris, and Huda said like, "No, I'll do it, and then you can explore Ace, and I'll have Chris there for you." But I don't know why that would have been a conversation or a good idea. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I think once Shelly didn't pick Chris and she picked Ace, like, I don't know why they're not just closing it off. That's what's really causing all these problems. It shouldn't even be a thing. Like,
Ace and Shelly didn't even have a conversation. Why have
no.
they still not had a conversation about what's going on? He's bringing her
Yeah.
breakfast, and you guys are not speaking.
Yeah.
And it's like, to me, it's clear as day that Shelly just wants this man to close it up. And he won't do
Yeah,
it. He's clearly
that's what her
playing with Chris. Like, shut the damn shit off.
that was her whole conversation with Olandria, was mad that Ace is like aired their business and isn't closing it off. Like, I just want him to close it off. So yeah, I think the whole Chris of it all, she just wanted him there to put pressure on Ace, and he's not. And it seems like she's mad about that, but it's not being relayed properly at all. Because
Not
making
being
it seem like
relayed.
she's jealous over Huda pursuing Chris, which does not make any sense. So I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
I
I
feel
feel
like
like we
it's
missed
not
something.
giving that either. I feel like it's not even giving that Shelly's jealous. Like, I think
No.
she's upset with Ace because he won't close it off, and she's not being direct. Like, she's not
Yeah.
saying, Ace, I'm upset with you because you won't close it off. That's why
Mhm.
I want boundaries, is because I feel like we're at a place where we need to close off and you won't do it. I'm
No,
only
they just.
exploring because you want to stay open.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm exploring. If you don't want to be open, I won't explore anymore. Like, I just don't understand why she can't just say that. Instead, she's making it like she's upset about a boundary, but
Mhm.
you're not mad at him for what happened with Huda. You're mad at Huda. So what was exactly the boundary that you feel like he crossed in the challenge?
It's ridiculous. I mean, I think they got the message tonight, though. Like, we'll get there. But something else I thought was telling was when Olandria was talking to Huda, and she's like, "You and I have a closer relationship than you with the other girls," which I thought was pretty telling. Like, no one in that villa seems to be friends with Huda, like in a close friendship, not the way Olandria and Shelly are, or Iris and Sierra. Like, we see the girls all having pretty good bonds, and no one really has that with Huda, which I think should tell us that we're not seeing a lot, right? And that these girls are a little bit fed up with her behavior, and that it is coming from an honest place. Like, they're not just coming for her out of nowhere. Like, none of them are really close with her, which is why she was so upset that Olandria spilled her secret. But I
Yeah.
think she's not friend. Like, there is no one really. She does feel alone because no one's friends with her. But why is that, right? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, I think we even did see and Rena telling Sierra, oh, she came in here slamming stuff and closing, and she was just like really mad. And then it was like Huda was the first person to stand behind Andrina. I think Huda started leaning on the Casa girls because
Yes.
there were OG girls or over her shit. But it seems
Hmm.
like to me, and again, production probably cut her slamming drawers. I seen her close the closet and like
Hmm.
maybe I need to go back and rewatch, but to me she wasn't like overly aggressive, but maybe I missed it, you know?
I
Um
find the slippers aggressive. I don't know why. Triggers me.
maybe. I thought
You
I was
see,
like,
she
oh,
had angry slipper feet just
she,
padding around there, and I'm
yeah,
like, oh
yeah.
man.
He's like, you can clack quietly if you're I thought Andrea was being messy at first, but then I was like, oh, I went back and watched it. I was like, okay, well, she did like slam the closet door, and
Yeah.
maybe there were some cuts that we didn't see, but I don't know. I don't know.
I
Amaya and
I
Ryan
did
for the win.
I got a little bold. I don't know what I was thinking, but I did post a little clip of because okay, at the start of this episode, they used that Lorde song "Girl," so confusing. You know that song?
I'd seen your clip.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's just a song about like girls fighting, and it was a good song for what happened in the episode. I said this was great, and showed them making up and said like they put it to bed, so like they're not mean girls. And of course, all the comments are like Huda supporters mad about how can you be mad about that? Like that's not a negative clip about Huda. It's just
I've
saying they
seen
made up and they're
I did.
all still mad. So
So what
like
what were they saying though? What was their like what
they they're
okay.
saying the making up was fake. Landria's lying through her teeth. Very mean stuff, which ironic, right? And it's like poor Huda.
But
And
when she apologizes, it's not fake, it's
And they're just
valid.
proving that the Huda supporters are toxic because they like the confrontation. Because this is literally a clip of them squashing the beef and they're all good now. And we didn't see otherwise throughout the rest of the episode. They're happy, they're good. Why are people on the internet perpetuating that these girls are mean girls when Huda has made up with them and nothing is happening? They're not doing anything bad to her. So that's just proved to me that it's not real support. It's coming from a weird place because
Yeah. That it doesn't
these
matter
they
like
had a 1 day fight and they're all fine now, and you are going to perpetuate that these girls are mean and send them home and unfollow them. It's just insane.
yeah. I agree. I agree because
Mhm.
I don't know. They're just I did see some comments like, "Oh, Shelly didn't apologize to Huda. Like why did Huda need to apologize to her and she didn't
Yeah.
even apologize back?" And I'm like, "Shut up."
I know.
I need to actually go watch it back to see if Shelly apologized because I'm pretty sure she did. I'm pretty sure she
Mhm.
said, "Oh, now that you explain it,
Yeah.
I realize, I thought you were doing it from a malicious place, but now that now that you explain it, like get your point, and I don't
Hmm.
view it that way anymore."
Yeah, and we really just have to think about the fact of like 10 days ago, if Shelly had made out with Jeremiah, how she would have been treated, right? Like, I feel like Huda should literally be sitting there and saying, I get it. I was the same over Jeremiah. Got overly upset about this. Like, I totally get it. Because of
And you guys
anyone,
are way further along than me and Jeremiah
yeah.
ever were.
And people seem to be forgetting, like, that Huda stood up in front of everyone and said Jeremiah said Iris wasn't attractive or wasn't attracted to her, didn't want to sleep in a bed with her. Like no one has ever said that unkind of things about Huda in front of the group. So if that can be forgiven, I feel like whatever happened with Shelly and her can be forgiven. No, nobody said hurtful words to Huda. No one called her a pussy and called her a
Yeah.
bitch and said like nothing has hit the level where she got when she was having a crash out. So I think she should be the first one to be like, I get it. Like you crashed out over Ace.
But
I
did
get it.
she even crash out? That's
No,
so
no, no.
crazy to me. It's like Shelly didn't even crash out. She is entitled to feel a way about you putting your wussy dussy in her man's face
Yeah.
when you didn't want nobody even to touch pinkies with your man. It's the principle. Either you understand the principle or you don't. Like,
Mhm.
that's it. Shelly had every right to feel a way about it. People knew that that was a valid argument. Huda defenders knew that that was a valid argument for Shelley to be upset about that. And then they turned it into this Chris thing. The sisterhood argument applied to Ace, not to
Yeah.
Chris. Now, Alandria going and making it about Chris is what is messing this up, because people are punishing Shelley for Alandria's crime. You know what I mean? Like, it's Alandria who is misspeaking what Shelley's mad about. So
Yeah.
and Ace and Shelley need to have a conversation, because why
Yes.
why are you guys fighting over at this point? It's been 3 days that you guys have been fighting over this, and it's like, you both want the same thing, so just close the shit off and move on. You're not gonna win anyway. If tonight's challenge didn't tell you anything, it's that America doesn't mess with you the way you think they mess with you.
No, I think, yeah, they've dragged it on way too long. They're like, what are they waiting for? The day before the finale to close it off? Like, it's just, they're not seeming genuine, because no one needs to test things this much. Like, we can see they like each other, so either close it off or move on. Like, we're done with this back and forth. So
yeah, and there is no moving on now. It's too late. You guys like, you guys got to see this through.
What did you think of Zach and Amaya's chat?
Okay, I have some notes, because I have some thoughts, because I love my girl Amaya. I love her. And here we go, Zach and Amaya. First of all, the fact that everyone's reaction was like, oh my God, look, they're chatting. Oh my God. I was like, okay, why are we getting that reaction? So
I wrote down like BTS. I'm like, I feel like there's something going on about Zach that we don't know, that I need some of these people to do like a podcast and tell us. Because they were like, remember what Jaden was saying? Like, I want to kick him in the pool or something. Like, I do feel like he's not genuine.
And then they voted him least genuine.
Yes. I think there's stuff going on that we don't know, that he's, I mean, like I said, he's friends with Miguel, which doesn't necessarily mean bad, but I wouldn't doubt that he's in that villa saying stuff like, I'm just here to win, or I'm here for the followers type thing. That's what I'm getting.
I mean, Zach is just, let me get to my thoughts.
Yes, get to them.
So I will say,
read us your thoughts, please.
He had some valid points in the argument. Okay, it's just the way that he was relaying them. What he was trying to say, instead of saying, I didn't want to kiss you, I just did it. What he was trying to say is, I should have set boundaries in the beginning so that you knew where I stood, but instead I didn't set those boundaries, so you thought they were okay and you kept pressing forward. Now, when you think back to that first kiss, it was very obvious he did not want to kiss her. She asked for a kiss and he said, oh, should we, like, right now? Like, should we do it? And it was just super awkward. He didn't want to do it. And Amaya couldn't read the room, and she went in for it anyway. And from that point forward, she thought it was okay to kiss him and to snuggle on him. And he never spoke up. Kind of similar to how Jeremiah thought Huda was moving too fast and he couldn't speak up to her. Now, I feel like there was nothing wrong with that. Nothing. He tried to tell her, it made me uncomfortable. But I think because he said, I didn't want to kiss you, obviously that's really rude to say to someone.
Yes.
He could have said it in a softer tone.
Yeah,
he acknowledged that he shouldn't have jumped in while she was being attacked. And he took accountability for that. He said, I shouldn't have piled on while you were being attacked. What he's saying is valid. She wasn't receiving it because of how he said it. Yeah. And she just kind of went off and was like, what you're saying is crazy. You know, and what he was saying wasn't crazy. It was valid, but it just wasn't received well.
Yeah. Well, I think, he never liked her. He was never into her, so he never should have picked her. And that was, he wasn't genuine because he only picked her to stay. And so he can't really win after that, because you have no good argument.
I do remember back in Casa, she specifically said, does calling you babe bother you? That kind of stuff. But I do remember her specifically asking him.
Oh, he was so nice and chill until he got back to that villa, and then all of a sudden he switched up. As soon as, like, she could have made a connection with someone else, she could have brought someone else, and he acted like he was all fine and dandy with how she was till he got back to the villa. Then he was like not into it. So that's why he doesn't have a good argument. Like, what he's saying is valid, but because he didn't say it immediately, it's like you used
But
her
I
to
think
get back.
that's what he was trying to say it in this conversation, that I should have spoken up sooner. I should have
Yeah.
told you when the kiss was happening that I was uncomfortable, that I didn't
Mhm.
want to do it. And
But
that's
he
what
wanted to get picked, so
yes.
he didn't.
So you did do it. And I love that she did tell him you're not an honest man, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. You weren't being honest and upfront because you had an ulterior motive. And
Yeah.
then when she told him you're an extremely odd individual.
Like, that was a little pot calling the kettle black, because I'm like, you're a little odd too, Amaya, but we love you for being odd. There's nothing wrong with being odd. So I think she
Yeah,
needed
just like
a
you're an
different
extremely
word.
odd individual. Fuck off. And then I think she gave him a shut the fuck.
Yeah, she did.
What confused me, because later that night they were like holding hands and like
Yeah, what
they
was
came down the
that?
stairs and were holding hands, and then they were
I
holding.
bet they had like an apology that we didn't see or something. Maybe they were panicking because they knew someone was going to get sent home. I don't
I
know.
don't know,
Like,
because even when they got voted the top couple to go on vacation with, I love that Zach thinks America loves him. He's like, I love you, America. And we're like, what the fuck? Like, you're only up because of Amaya.
yeah, yeah,
But even then, when Ariana asked, like, how are things going with you guys? It wasn't like we're done, it's over, the connections, there's nothing there. It was like, oh, we're on a bumpy ride, it's up and down, it's a roller coaster, but we're working it out. And Zach
yeah,
was like, yeah, like I would still go on vacation with her. So I'm like, what did we miss? Because it went from shut
yeah,
the fuck up and fuck off to like they're like when they came down the stairs and was holding each other's hand, I had to pause it. Like, am I
yeah.
tripping right now? Like, what? When did they get good? I need her to get
How
good with Brian.
how do they even get all this done in time? Because what, the vote was Tuesday night, right? What time did they close the voting at? Like midnight or
Midnight.
something? Okay. So
Mhm.
that's like 9 a.m. Wednesday already, Fiji time. So they filmed all this yesterday and then they just like, how, like, that is just crazy that they can do it so fast. Because I was like, maybe that conversation happened after and they just showed it before because it made more sense. But I don't even think they have time to do stuff like that on this show.
And they said that there was like record-breaking votes, like over 3 million people voted.
I kind of feel like they must have had a conversation like, let's pretend like we're good because they thought maybe the other islanders are going to vote who goes home, right? And so that would be my guess because they don't know what's going to get shown to us, right? So they might think that little fight they had isn't going to be shown to us. So they probably were like, let's just pretend we're good in front of everyone in case it comes down to like three couples and send someone home that doesn't have a shot. Because if they were hating each other, automatically they're going to go home. So that's the only logical explanation because
Right.
they
But I
were,
feel like didn't we see Zach go back and tell a group of people, like at least two of
yeah.
the boys, that about his
Yeah, and they
conversation with
all
Brian?
witnessed her like walk away saying like F
Yeah,
off.
and
So
everybody witnessed the blow up. So I don't really
yeah.
know what would have,
It's like we're
how that.
not voting live, guys. It was too late by that point.
Like,
Like
that's
the
why I
votes
was
are in. So
really confused, but I just love how Zach like really thinks we fuck with him. Like he's like,
yeah.
yeah. I'm confused why he wasn't lower on the list. I'm
Yeah.
confused why him and Elin weren't lower on the list, because just from what I've seen, like they're not really giving much and people don't really like them. So I'm confused.
Mhm.
Elin doesn't. He's not even in a couple. So I'm
No.
confused why him and Zach weren't. I knew people didn't like TJ, but I thought that Zach or Elin would be up there before TJ.
Yeah.
Because be that as it may, even though we don't like TJ, he did have a connection with Iris, and now we've just
Mhm.
broken up another connection.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird. But I'm shocked she didn't leave with him if she was so upset. Like you're not gonna find anyone
Pepe.
else in 5 days. So
Pepe.
oh, you think she's gonna go for
Iris and
Pepe?
Pepe. Yes. Iris and Pepe
Ah.
for the win, okay? Like, okay,
Oh.
Iris and Pepe, maybe not for the win, but Iris and Pepe. She's blonde.
But she was real sad when TJ left.
And who was consoling her?
True.
Pepe.
They move fast in there.
Like, Iris is one of the, clearly after tonight, Amaya and Pepe know that they're the top. They're the tippity
Yeah.
top. Unfortunately, I don't think Pepe is down with the brown. I think he likes blonde women, which is fine. Everybody has a preference. So I think Iris was number 2 in everything. So
Yeah.
Pepe was number 1 in everything. So at this
Yeah,
point,
if they're smart.
yes, they know America likes Pepe and America
Mhm.
likes Amaya.
Mhm.
So I think, and Iris too, because she was number 2. So I think
Mhm.
Brian and Amaya,
Yes.
Pepe,
Can we talk
and
about their
Iris.
cute chat? They were so cute
They
together.
were so cute. They were so cute.
Love
See,
them.
don't try and hold her hand now, Zach.
No.
Don't be hating on my girl now because she's got connections. I
Yeah,
think that if Brian and Amaya link up, they can
they
go
could
to.
win.
I think
I
yes, because
agree.
their chat was cute. People really loved that Brian defended Amaya. I really love
Mhm.
that Brian defended Amaya, and he seems
Mhm.
to get her.
Yeah,
He was kind of validating, but all men do that in their first conversation with Amaya, so we'll see.
true.
But like she's like, I'm different, I'm weird, I'm quirky, I'm emotional, I say babe. And he seems to maybe get it. Like,
Yeah,
he
he's
won't be offended if she calls him babe. But I also
mhm.
don't think it's just the babe though. I think it is the babe and the touchy feeliness and the kisses because she
Yeah.
does as soon as she couples up with somebody try to go in for kisses and get real touchy because I noticed she did
Mhm.
that with Austin and he visibly looked uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And then even Zach, like he visibly looked uncomfortable the first time she tried to go in for a
Yeah.
kiss. So maybe Brian thinks he'll be okay with the kisses, but then I mean with the babe, but then when she starts like genuinely being herself, like I
Mhm.
think sometimes it's just too much. So we'll see. But that's a couple
Yeah.
I could get behind for
I
sure.
like I like them. And yeah, Pepe and Iris. That would be interesting because I know I've seen some videos Hannah posted. Now she's acting like she's all in love with Pepe. But like I heard a few of her interviews and she was very much like, I like Charlie, I like Pepe. She wasn't like she certainly wasn't out in the interview saying like I miss Pepe, I want to meet up with them immediately. Although that's smart of her because you never know if they were gonna find someone else while they're still there. So,
Yeah.
but now she's acting like she's very excited to see him. So it'll be interesting if he couples up with Iris.
Yeah, he gets cuter and cuter every episode. I know when he first
Yeah.
came in, I was like, "Oh, his hair is thinning," and I had all kind of shit to say about him. But then I was like, "Oh, wait a minute, yeah,
This is what happens with us girls. The more we get to know someone, the more attractive they become. And that's why like we can be slow burners. Men, I don't think they can as much, but we can do it. So
1,000%."
you
Like
so
I'm like was so anti-Pep. I was like, "He's so boring." Oh my god, who the hell wants him to see him? And then like then I voted for his ass. So I think that's the
once
beauty of
they
the show is that opinions change. So that's why I hate when people are under my comments like, "Oh my god, like you switched up, like you just turned your back on so and so," and I'm like, "No, something else happened, and I have a different opinion today." Like
yeah.
off in the words of Amaya.
Yeah. We're allowed to change our minds based on what we're seeing. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I think it was okay, like I said, for people to question like Shelly and Alandria's, but the way they just all of a sudden thought they made like they're the villains now. Like it's been one day of something happening. Like we
Yeah.
need to see more. Even
Yeah.
Huda, I'm like, I still want to give her that redemption. I still want to root for her. We haven't seen it yet. If her and Chris do well over the next few days, we will maybe like her. But for now, I haven't seen anything different.
Well,
So,
people think that they've seen a difference. So people,
mhm.
I know there are her defenders, and even people who weren't originally her defenders. They feel like they've seen like such a change and such a shift and such a change in behavior. And me and you are like,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? You gotta peep the little things where you're like, oh, we're just gonna ignore that. We're just gonna
Yeah.
act like her treating all these pancakes is normal. We're
When
just
it
gonna
was,
act like her asking Chris all these questions is normal. We're gonna act like
mhm.
her like she's still showing that possessive nature. You know
Did
what I
you
mean?
notice in the challenge when Chris got like a few good votes, she just kept trying to like take credit for it. Like, I told you guys he's good. I told you. As though she wanted like the credit for bringing him back. That's that possessiveness that she has. It's like, it has nothing to do with you. We like Chris for Chris. It's not
Yes. Yeah.
you vouching for him. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, it was weird. It's
If
just,
we saw Chris pull a girl for a chat, or and again, it's too late in the game for it. So that's why I said I don't think that we're going to get an accurate assessment of her
mhm.
behavior. But if we seen Chris pull someone for a chat, it would be a problem. We
Yeah,
would
like,
see Hurricane Huda start to creep out, but
mhm.
there's not even any time for it. We don't barely have any challenges left. I think tomorrow we're going to get that disgusting 4th of July challenge
See, and I want to see Chris making out with some people, and I want to see what happens and how that goes over,
Yeah, but
like
unfortunately, this next challenge is the gross one where
no
you're
making
spitting.
out. Yeah. It's just
Yeah, like
nasty.
it's just nasty. You're just spitting stuff in each other's mouth. I always fast forward it. I cannot watch that. Like,
So are we really not getting movie night? That'll be so weird.
we have to get movie night. There's so many good things that have to come out on movie
Yeah.
night.
I'm sure we will. There's still 2 weeks left, right? Yeah. So
There's still 2 weeks. What did you think
one
of,
week.
okay, what did you think of Pepe and Graceland had a little chat where he basically broke
Yeah.
things off, but it's also revealed in the episode that Huda is the one that wrote the note to Pepe.
I mean, not shocking at all.
And what
Like
did the note say exactly? It's clear
it
that you
said, it wasn't nice the way it was worded. I think it was like it was clear you liked Hannah more, or it was clear you had more fun with Hannah, or something like that. And so
Mhm.
yeah, it didn't have to, like it was mean to Grayson. I mean, clearly it sent her spiraling for the rest of the episode and into the next day. I think it could have just been worded more like, do you miss Hannah, or do you think your connection with Hannah was better? But it was very much like it was clear you liked Hannah more, which I can understand that Grayson would feel a way about
Yeah.
that. So,
Yeah, I think
because she
Grayson,
didn't know if everyone's saying that in the villa and they're all talking about it, which I don't think it was like a big topic, but
I don't think so. And I thought that it was weird that Graceland, not weird in a bad way, but that she couldn't understand that Pepe was still caught up on
yeah,
Hannah. Like, I don't think that that's so difficult to understand. It's like she seemed
no,
very confused about it, by like, oh, like you have this we're building something and I don't agree that there's no spark. Like you had this like explosive, like a relationship after what, 9 days, almost trying to minimize it. And it's like, yeah, I did find that, and it
yeah,
was only 9 days, and that's why I know it's not there with this, because we've had a few days at this point, maybe 4 or 5, a
yeah,
good amount of time at this point, and I don't feel that. So I don't think there, like Pepe was honest. Like we keep getting on these
hmm
boys about not being honest and genuine about their feelings, Taylor, but Pepe was honest.
hmm
Pepe was honest. So it's like, what can you
yeah,
do? He's still caught up on Hannah.
yeah. I
Hopefully he
think
can get on the Irish train.
Yeah, I think he was trying to tell Grayson that a little bit before the challenge. Like, I think we saw them have a little chat about that. And then, yeah, it came out in the challenge. So it was good she knows now. And I mean, I feel like it's like with the Taylor Landria thing where it was kind of obvious to us, but we saw him with Hannah and she didn't. Or maybe she did from home. I don't know. But, you know, she needed to be told, just like Olandria. I'm so confused how like everyone put Taylor and Clark in the bottom of everything, but then they were apparently mad at Olandria. So is that weird?
I didn't understand how Clark wasn't in the bottom, because she
Yeah.
was voted in the bottom for every
Oh
one.
yeah, like for the final thing. Yeah, I meant like for like the little ones, like the who's the most genuine and all this stuff. Like they
Yeah, and
were.
she was in the bottom for everything, and
Yeah.
Olandria wasn't. But then the discourse online, that's why I am starting to see now, like, oh, the votes were rigged, like that wasn't
Mhm.
what we wanted. How were Sierra, Shelley, and Olandria not in the bottom? Like this is
Yeah.
just a setup. Um, because even in I missed that, the polls, like I remember when I logged onto the app, like they weren't there anymore because I think they were only
Oh.
open for like 2 hours. Um, but I must, you know why? I think it's because that happened before the polls happened before
Oh, it wasn't
the
the same
episode.
time.
No, it was before. So
Oh,
it was
okay, that makes
before
sense.
the episode dropped. And then after the episode dropped is when we got to vote favorite and least favorite.
Mm.
But yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought it was all the same because I don't get to vote here in Canada, sadly. So I just watch vicariously through you guys. So I didn't see any of the votes, but that makes sense. I thought it was all up at once. So yeah, it was like they didn't really match, like it wasn't the same
Mm-mm.
people in the bottom because like we saw Ace and Shelly were in the bottom a lot too. So what did you
Yeah.
think about? You think this was a shocking night for them? They thought they were the favorites, and
It
fair
was,
enough.
it definitely, you can tell Ace's head was spinning. He's trying to figure, he had no words. He was like, damn, like, because you see, he voted himself as like the best boyfriend material. He voted himself number 1, and then he was actually number 9, right behind
Yeah.
Taylor. And same with genuineness, like Taylor and right, like boyfriend material.
Yeah.
Taylor was last. Pepe and Chris were first. I put who's voting for Elin. And then genuine is, most
Yeah.
was Pepe,
Yeah.
least was who? Oh, least was Ace and Taylor. Zach
Yeah.
or genuine? That's a lie. Who the hell
That's
voted that?
weird.
Who
Yeah, how
voted
did that
that?
happen?
Yeah,
That's
I don't
that's
know.
very odd.
That is odd and not true, because people did, that's been like the main thing, right? Is that Zach is not genuine. But yeah, you
That's very
you rank
odd.
the boys from most to least genuine. Pepe and Chris, Zach, Nick, Elin, Brian, TJ, Austin, Ace, Taylor. Boyfriend
Yeah, that's
material.
a little
Again,
odd.
Pepe, Chris, Nick. So Nick thinks he's safe. He thinks he's coasting. He's ranking high in these, number 3. You know?
Yeah, not so the vote for those was before the last episode because why are people voting Pepe so good then? That doesn't make any sense. Because he was just like there until we saw him have a little breakdown about Hannah and then
Yeah. It was Tuesday before the episode.
it's very odd.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
something doesn't feel right about this,
and
but
Chris too, right? Because Chris, the reason people liked Chris was because he stood up for
Oh wait, didn't you vote for like you voted like someone random, didn't you?
I only voted, I didn't vote in the rankings.
Oh right, right.
I
With
voted
the
Pepe for my favorite boy.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay. Okay.
I,
So-
and I voted Andrina for my favorite girl, but because
Right.
I voted her for my favorite girl, which is why I'm like, how the hell she get in the bottom? How the hell
Mhm.
Clark wasn't in the bottom is beyond me, because she was
Yeah.
in the bottom for all of the votes. And I know that a lot of people are not blaming Clark for her connection with Taylor. People are blaming Taylor, but I
Mhm.
don't get how the rankings, she was low on everything, but in the vote,
Yeah.
she wasn't even in the bottom 3.
Yeah. Either way, I think what happened was good. Like all the people that left, I think needed to go.
Yeah.
And we had too many people.
They
And
actually
Austin
need
has
to
had his chance.
get more. They need to get rid of more people, because I feel like
Yeah.
we literally have Elin, Brian, Pepe, Zach, Olandria, Iris, and Amaya, who are all single, basically.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because Zach and Amaya cut things off,
Mhm.
right? Brian was with Andrina. She's not there anymore. Elin was always single. Pepe was with Graceland. She's gone.
Yeah.
So, and
Well, I
Iris is
think
with TJ. So we have like so many single people. And
mhm.
we're like at the end. We're at episode
Yeah.
27. So I say Brian and Amaya, Pepe and Iris, and that
Mhm.
leaves Olandria, Zach, and Elin. And I don't think that Elin or Zach are a match for Olandria.
No. Yeah. Are we still getting one more bombshell or are we done? Because
I
I'm
think
still praying for that.
we get the one that was an ex-cast member. I think we
Yeah,
still get that
that's
bombshell.
that's Olandria's only hope still. So if that doesn't happen, like next episode, I think we're out of time. So
What do you think of Taylor? Taylor said in one sec. First of all, I just want to just point out in my notes, Brian wasted his vote. Like, why?
yeah,
Brian, why would you not choose Andrina? Like, you are so foul.
that was me.
But Elin wasted his vote, and so did Chris.
Mhm.
Like, why did Chris vote for Jaden?
That was odd. I guess maybe like a Casa connection is all I could think of. I don't know.
If Olandria
Because
wouldn't have stood behind Austin, then that means like Austin would have essentially had no votes. And
why did she do that?
I guess the
I mean,
rest.
she didn't want to go behind Taylor, so I get
She
that.
wasn't going to
So
go behind Taylor, but she could have went behind Andrina.
yeah, that
And
was
so could, I think, Sierra. Imagine if Sierra and Alandra went behind Andrina, then,
mhm.
oh girl, I mean, Taylor would have been going home. But again, like
Yeah,
some people wasted their vote. Like Elin
yeah,
and Chris stood behind Jaden.
hmm yeah. There's definitely some wasting going on. So
Yeah. So, but Taylor had said something. Oh, that he wanted to have a peaceful conversation to end it with Olandria. And it's like, it's ended. There's no
yeah,
need to freaking speak. What do you mean you want to have a peaceful conversation to end it? It's done. It's over. You picked the girl twice.
yeah. That's the annoying part is they're all still there. So we're like, I don't want to see them talking anymore. I'm done with the story. So
God. And then Shelly even asked her in the speakeasy, like, what about Taylor? Can you please stop asking her what about Taylor? It's
right, like
done.
no one
Like,
wants to know that.
humiliation ritual at this point. When she was like, oh, that's dead. It's deaded. Yeah. Duh.
Mhm.
Like, it has to be. Like,
Finally. Yeah. Yeah, we're done with that story. I hope. I really hope.
we have
Because,
to be. And if Taylor tries to pull her for a chat to
I hope
end
not.
it, I really hope she says no. I
Yeah.
really hope, like, just how she told Zach, save your words. I
Hmm.
hope she does that to Taylor, because I think the part that made me so upset about Olandria in last week's episode wasn't her crashing out,
Hmm.
wasn't her cursing him out. It was that you still waited to see if he was going to say your name at the end of it.
I know,
Like,
right?
oh God,
Yeah.
that like really upset me. But
Hmm.
overall, it was a good episode. I wasn't
Yeah,
too
I thought
shocked
so
that,
too.
like, I just, based on the first look, I just thought like somebody like was really gonna be going home, like somebody like really unexpected, like Ace,
Yeah.
Nick, or somebody. But
Yeah, they definitely were playing it that way. Like it was Sierra or Nick, like someone like that. So yeah, I went right to the end of the episode before I watched it. And when I saw who went home,
really long.
yes. And when I saw who went home, I was like, oh, that not shocking. You know, that's exactly who I would have picked to go home. Like Austin, obviously slightly shocking, but not really. He doesn't have a good connection. It's been like 3 weeks. It's time. So yeah, none of the eliminations shocked me, but I did enjoy the rest of the episode, so it
Yeah,
was good.
yeah. So we got Andrina, Grayson. Who went home? Actually, I'm like, who went home?
TJ,
TJ. I
TJ,
have a picture.
Austin, Andrina, Grayson, and
Jaden.
Jaden. Yes.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm just happy I get to leave with Jaden. I'm like, bro, you're never gonna see her again.
Yeah.
Jaden does not
Never.
like you. Austin dated Graceland, which, I mean, I guess Pepe had just dumped her. So, and then
Yeah.
TJ, he did have a good connection with Iris. Andrina
Mhm.
really didn't have a connection either. But
No.
I mean, TJ and Iris were creeping up on people's fave list only for the fact of Iris, you know? That's why
Well,
I'm
they
like,
were very
Iris.
chill, which
And did they
they're kind of
bone in
boring.
Soul Ties? I think she gave up that thing.
Oh, really?
I think she gave it up, Ashley. That's why they went out to Soul Ties. At least they were
Ah,
and went out to Soul Ties. Nick and Sierra, like, just banging in that room nonstop. I would literally wake up and be like, you guys need to fucking stop it. Like,
yeah,
go
especially
somewhere else.
hearing all they did with the eating and the waterfalls. I'm like, no, that's if I was sleeping beside them, I would not be impressed. That would
Go
be
to the
horrible.
hideaway. Like, are
Yeah,
they not allowed to just go to the hideaway?
I don't think so.
I
I
don't
don't
think
know
so
what
either.
happened to that thing, but it's gone. Maybe someone broke it because we have not seen it
All
since the
season. Like, that's
start.
so crazy. That's so
Yes.
crazy. But other than that, yeah, solid episode, I guess. We'll
Yeah.
see what happens tomorrow. Overall, a good episode. Overall, a good episode. It was juicy. We got some bodies out of the villa, so gotta love that. And we'll
Clap for
see.
that.
Everything changes by the day, so we'll see how we feel in a couple days.
Totally. I totally agree. Every day is something different, and we got some ideas for couples we'd like to see. So hopefully it happens, but maybe they'll surprise us and someone new will come in. So,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
thanks for listening to our Love Island USA recap, episode 27. We'll be back with the rest of the ultimatum. They dropped a reunion. It was so crazy. So we're gonna talk about that and Real Housewives of Miami and more Love Island, of course. So yeah, make sure you follow us, subscribe, like all that good stuff. And thanks for being here.
bye, guys.
Bye.